Oh, hi, doggy.
He's not a dog.
Yeah. That's a funny story, Mark.
Why is he laughing?
You ever want to know how your favorite movie got made? Well, this is a story about how one of the worst movies got made through the eyes of two of the stars of the movie, and none other than
What?
what did we just see?
The disaster artist.
All right, the disaster artist. You want to explain the movie?
So basically, it's about a story of Tommy Wiseau and Greg whoever, and they wanted to create this movie, and so Tommy Wiseau creates The Room. Oh gee, we all know where this is gonna go. And this movie is actually pretty funny because Tommy Wiseau is a pretty stupid ass person.
He's insane.
Exactly. And he just acts so dumb. Like, you can barely understand when he talks. Like, what?
I'm telling you, you shouldn't think too hard about it. Anyway, how's your sex life?
Like,
What?
exactly.
This is a very this is probably one of the funniest movies I've seen since I saw the first 90 minutes of Ted 2. Like you said, this is Greg meets Mark while he's in acting school. Greg is terrified by being in front of a crowd, which they exemplified at the beginning when he has to do performances and he freezes up and sounds wooden and very robotic. To when they show Tommy's first scene in front of the audience where he is batshit crazy. He's giving a performance, no one knows what the hell is he doing. He was doing a Streetcar Named Desire. And he's just like climbing up the freaking scaffolds. He's all over the place. Everyone's just looking at him like, what the hell is wrong with you? And Greg approaches him, tells him, you know, he admires him for his poise and the fact that he can go up there and give it his all, even though it's not good at all. And just through that interaction, because I guess no one's ever accepted Tommy, it doesn't really go into his backstory, which we still don't know almost 15 years later, because that movie came out in 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Johnny sees this as a form of communication from Greg, and he takes Greg all over the place. He's like, oh, Greg, let's go do this. Let's go do this.
Wait, his name is Tommy. You said Johnny.
Oh, Johnny's his name in the movie, in The Room.
Yeah, I just noticed that. I was like, wait.
Yeah, I kind of had to think of that too. I was like, wait, because it's kind of hard to differentiate where Tommy Wiseau ends and Johnny begins. But they're going through all this stuff. Greg is like very disturbed. It's like, wait, where are you getting this money from? And Tommy's like, no, how he does? Can you do the laugh?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, don't ask me about it, Johnny. Oh, don't ask me about it, Greg.
He said, "Don't worry."
Yeah, don't worry about it. I have everything controlled.
To this day, nobody knows where he gets the money from.
Yes.
They even said that in the movie.
Mm-hmm. So they go into this long thing, and I don't know how he has it, but Tommy has a house in both San Francisco and LA, and even Greg hints at it. He's like, how do you have this place? And he's like, don't worry about it, Greg. It's all good.
Once again, we don't know where the money comes from.
And then they go through acting schools, modeling school. They try to do the regular stuff in LA. And then all of a sudden, Greg is like, oh, I wish we could do something. And then Tommy's just like, why don't we make our own movie?
Yeah. And then that's when things went really down.
Yeah, and that's when we get to the main plot of the movie where they are making the room. And then it goes into the movie, Greg is like, alright, how are we going to do this, Tommy's like, oh, don't worry about it, Greg. I got everything under control. And then this movie shifts into the actual making of the movie, and where Tommy absolutely loses his shit.
Exactly. I'm like,
no one understands what he's doing, why he's doing it. He doesn't really explain to anyone why or how he's doing this. He's just like, this is my vision. And this movie you can see this movie as something that's making fun of Tommy Wiseau a lot. Because they are at the beginning. They absolutely are. But at the same time, you kind of feel sorry for him because you realize this is all he has. There's a lot of scenes in this movie where, while you're still laughing at him because of the way he talked, his mannerisms, just the way he looked, just because he's freaking Tommy Wiseau, where you have to feel sorry for him because this is something he wanted to do. Doesn't matter how insane, how crazy he is. This is something he really wanted to and strive to. We don't know how he did it or how he got the money to do it. But, and it's very forgiving of his character to an extent. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of stuff, especially when they're shooting the movie, and he's absolutely brutal to his crew.
yeah.
Doesn't give them water. The rooms are hot. The place where they're shooting it is hot as hell. He doesn't want to give people days off. All stuff like
but
that.
The funny part is, this movie was supposed to be made in 40 days. But after a few scenes, you see that it says day 52 of 40. 52 of 40.
Actually, they go to 58, I think.
They go all the way to 58. What the hell?
Yeah, there's a very every time they do the shooting scenes, in the bottom corner you'll see day X of 40, and then because the shoot's running so long, they'll start going through numbers that obviously far surpasses what they were supposed to do. You want to talk about the main character? I want to talk about James Franco. Let's talk about James Franco. James Franco is actually very good. He is very transmittive in this role. He acts, he's got the mannerisms, the dress, the voice of Tommy was so down pat. Like to the point where I really, you could confuse him for Tommy Wiseau. On the other hand,
I almost did.
Yeah. On the other hand, his brother Dave Franco, he kind of looked like Greg.
Not good enough.
He was too short.
Yeah.
Because actually Greg is taller than Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
But he does a really good job in his acting role and being the only one on set who's like either trying to calm the people who are making the movie down, trying to calm the actors down, trying to calm Tommy down. So he's a perfect, I guess, trying to even Tommy out. There's a couple of scenes where Tommy has people kind of turn against him, and you see him turn against everyone else, but there's also scenes where he has to be a total jerk, and you're like, how did not more people walk off of this set? Matter of fact, there's a really good... Seth Rogen's in this movie, and thank God he's not used much in it. He's kind of just throwing out one-liners, or he's just literally there. He has a couple of really good one-liners, though. There's a really funny scene where he goes to the bank. He's like, oh, can I cash this check? And the bank teller is like, yeah. He's like, really?
Yeah, he's like, oh, I never thought that would be possible.
Yeah, because they show a lot of the production of it, like when they go in there to buy. No, they typically how movies go is you go in there and you say, I want this equipment. We'll rent it for X amount of days. We'll pay you. Tommy goes in there and he buys it, and everyone's just like, wait, you have the money? Why would you do that? And then he's just like, don't worry, I do it. I have it. This movie is really good. This is really funny. It's really sharp. There's a lot of good one-liners. This movie is very James Franco heavy, and I'm not a big fan of him. I don't care for much of his movies because I think his humor is garbage in all honesty. But this is, luckily for him, he has a source material that is absolutely insane. And it's really funny. And I really had a ball with this. There's a cut, I actually hurt my foot because I was laughing so hard and I hit the floor wrong. I will say this is a movie about if you have a dream, go for it. Even if you're not good at it. What was the line in the movie? From the mom. The mom who has breast cancer.
Oh, I got the results.
No, not that. No, not the line that's in the room. There's a line she says to one of the actors while they're having lunch. She was like, being on the set of a movie on its worst day is better than living any other day of your life.
Is that true?
They're in a movie. Everyone, you know. Well, movies like La La Land, Avatar, Titanic, whatever, people will still remember them years from now. And those are supposedly great movies. No one's forgetting The Room anytime in this century. This is a movie that still gets played in most places at midnight, and you're encouraged to bring spoons to throw at the to throw at the screen. But the disaster artist, there are scenes that you kind of don't know how the hell this movie got made. And once again, going back to the main character, Tommy Wiseau, there's a scene at the very end
where Tommy Wiseau.
No, don't get to spoilers yet.
Oh.
We'll do that one in a minute. I'll tell you when to do that one. There's a scene where he finally produces the movie. He gets it shown in the theaters. And no one gets his vision. And that's kind of the overlaying plot of the movies. No one's getting what he wants to do, and he's frustrated by it. But once he sees that people are having the exact same... Because remember, The Room is supposed to be a drama. It was supposed to be. That's the... I mean,
was that a sentence you just said?
Yeah. Well, that's the original intent. And then after he saw what the audience did, he embraced it. He liked it. There's, you know... Right before he does that, there's a really good scene with... James Franco and Dave Franco, where Greg's character speaks to Tommy and goes, well, at least you tried. And you went out there and did your dream, and that's pretty good, even if your dream is awful. You want to say anything? Or you want to get to the part? No, don't get that one. It's not a totally retelling of The Room. I will say this, there's a couple of things I would have liked them to go more into. Like, I would have liked them to go more into the fact that in the first scene they shoot, it's in the alley. And Seth Rogen's character is like, why don't we just shoot over there in the alley? He's like, no, this is big movie. Don't worry, we shoot a movie.
What?
I would have liked if they would have went more into the whole rooftop scene, where for some reason it's shot on green screen, but I guess they didn't want to do it for repetitive reasons, because that's where I would have expected the cameraman, Seth Rogen's character, to be like, why don't we just shoot on the roof?
Oh.
And plus there's the psychologist character.
Oh yeah, Peter.
Peter, I wish they would have explained that his character actually got fired halfway through the movie.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, which is why in the wedding scene that other guy shows up for no reason.
Oh.
Stuff like that. But this is a well acted movie. It's very funny, very touching at times. This is a movie that could have been really bad in the fact that it could have been a movie that's just saying this is how we did the movie. It actually goes into the characters, goes into Greg, goes into Tommy, really sweetly, really funny, and this is by far the funniest movie I've seen all year. And you want to give your score before we go into final thoughts?
You know, you go first.
Alright, I give it a 9.3. This movie's really good.
9.5.
The only reason I wouldn't give it higher is because I think you need to see The Room to get this movie.
Definitely.
If you don't, I mean, don't get me wrong, you'll probably still laugh at this movie if you didn't see The Room, but you wouldn't get why you're laughing at the movie.
Exactly.
And in case you wanted to know how the movie shoots went with the original Room, before the credits roll, there is a scene, or there's a shot for shot comparison from the movie and what they did here, and it is freaking spot on.
Well, they copied the scenes almost exact.
Yeah, everything from everyone's favorite lines from "You're tearing me apart, Lisa."
Oh my god, I was laughing so hard when they finally got to that part. I was like, "Oh no, it's here!"
And then the you want to do the breast cancer one?
Hell no.
She go, "I am definitely dying."
With breast cancer.
And then that just leads nowhere.
Exactly.
Even to the part, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. When they do the side-by-side comparisons at the end, freaking killer. This movie's hysterical. Go out of your way to watch it. It's only showing up in LA and New York right now. It's going to be rolling out in a couple weeks, so if you have a chance, go see it. Any final? Alright. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, people, we're running into extra time. Do not leave this movie theater until it's freaking over. Until the movie absolutely completely stops. Meaning past the scene for scene comparison, past the credits. You know why?
You will find something hilarious.
Yeah, I find it absolutely funny. Where do you come from?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm from New Orleans. You sure you're from New Orleans?
You will find a mysterious but yet familiar voice and face. Tommy Wiseau meets Tommy Wiseau. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so stay till the credits. Later.
Bye.